Thanks again, Richard. I work for this company called Zozoday, where we build sophisticated reward systems and motivation systems to place motivation at the center of business. I'm going to talk to you today about employee experience in the hybrid workplace in just about 10 minutes, I believe. So hybrid work is here. It's inevitable. 66% of companies are redesigning their office space. 73% of us really like hybrid. We want it to stay, but 67% of us want more in-person work. We want collaboration back after the pandemic. Let's talk about the environment today and what the employee experience is like today. Covered some 7 hybrid work trends that we're all experiencing. These are really well supported with great data from collaboration systems and social networks, etc., that are measuring how much we're interacting digitally, etc. Flexible work is here to stay. We know that. Leaders are out of touch. They are measured to be thriving, actually, while the younger employees are measured to be struggling. At the same time, while engagement was a problem prior to, employee engagement was a problem prior to the pandemic, it's gotten worse post-pandemic, as we might expect. Productivity is increasing. It's going up to the right, up and to the right, as measured by things like meeting duration, the number of team calls we're on, the number of chats and number of emails transmitted have exploded, essentially, while 54% of us exclaim, we're digitally exhausted. Generation Z, 18 to 25-year-olds, have joined or are beginning their career in a time of vast disruption. They can't get close to or experience what the true company purpose is. They can't care for their well-being from employees that they can't meet. And equally, they can't express their new and fresh ideas learned in college and from their exuberance and youthfulness. So it's a frustrating time for them. Morale is low. Our networks are shrinking. We are retracting to our close teams, and we are interacting much less now with our extended teams than we did before the pandemic. The net impact of all of this is there are no new ideas, or ideas coming into the business are vastly limited. Talent is everywhere, or is becoming everywhere. It's becoming ubiquitous. The number of jobs available for remote work at LinkedIn has expanded 5x. The point of that is employees don't need to leave their home, don't need to leave their desk to get a more interesting job anywhere in the world. Bottom line is, as the world opens up here, more employees are evaluating these inferior experiences that they're having today and planning their next moves in the hybrid world. So what is employee experience? Okay, on the screen, I've taken one interpretation of that. And the interpretation that is it's something that goes on through your whole career life cycle. In an ideal world, it's meaningful work led by trained, skilled management and trustworthy leadership in an environment that nurtures health, well-being, learning, continual improvement, all towards some purpose beyond financial goals. All very idealistic, I think you would agree. But it's idealistic for most of us. For some corporations, real thought leaders, they are building frameworks for employee the complete employee experience. It's hard, it's tough. It necessitates wide, cross-functional employee experience teams, and it requires large investments in systems, in protocols, etc., etc. But, you know, for most of us, all we see, and indeed for all of us, large corporations or small SMEs, only this initial phase of hybrid working is visible. We only have the experience of it as it is today. There is no roadmap for how it will evolve next quarter or quarter to quarter, or even how it will look next month as regimes change, as restrictions change. So these are big challenges. Without a roadmap, it's tough. Yet we have to live with the trends as they are today, the ones that I called out earlier. Leadership of out of touch, networks are shrinking, people are digitally exhausted, and there's going to be a new war on talent. So, what is the way forward, right? You know, I would say we can't get to an ideal employee experience without engaging first. So, I would say, you know, if this is on your agenda, do consider a back to basics approach first. Rethink, what was engagement like before the pandemic? Was it good? Was it great? Was it very bad? Rethink now what it might be for, well, for something that you don't really know what it's going to look like. Okay, so rethink engagement for hybrid. I would advocate establishing in your organization continuous conversations, but they must be virtual conversations mostly when we consider remote, to effectively listen and effectively hear about the employee experience as it is today, and again, remotely. And then, of course, really action what we hear, right? Or really action what you do hear. Underneath all of this, we've got to expect a sort of a continuous realignment to a dynamic new normal. Not a new normal, it's a dynamic new normal. It keeps changing. So this is really tough. This is a challenge. So, you know, you're thinking about this, I would advocate that, you know, an initial imperatives for engaging for employee experience in a hybrid world is to look at these imperatives, look at these objectives thoughtfully, connecting to employees remotely in the office, empowering them, motivating them, and aligning them to company purpose, to maybe new values, and certainly to new business objectives. That's pretty tough. All on a social intranet with in groups with continuous virtual conversations. We've got to listen to the minimum employee needs. I list some of them on the right-hand side. We know that the top in there is well-being. We know top in there is to get connected and collaborate. And we know on top in there is we've got to re-clarify goals and re-clarify purpose. So how are people achieving this? A best practice that we advocate is really about measuring and remeasuring. It's about continuous feedback and improvement throughout the employee life cycle. Okay, so how do we achieve that? What we advocate is thoughtfully planning, measuring employee net promoter score, conducting formal employee engagement surveys and informal employee surveys or employer surveys to capture the voice of the employee as it is in this dynamic new normal. And then, you know, acting intelligently and timely on what is heard, connecting and aligning people on a social internet through groups, appreciating, recognizing as we go. And finally, excuse me, and finally remeasuring in minor ways and major ways each month and each quarter accordingly in order to fine-tune the actions being taken towards this nirvana of employee experience. So how are people achieving this? Uh, in a hybrid world, of course, and in these days, there are a lot of times, there are a lot of digital solutions available. I would advise that if you do uh, look to a digital solution for your path forward, do check that such a solution addresses these four objectives that I called out. Do they connect and align employees with rich features on a social intranet? Can you conduct anonymous 360 feedback actions? Can you execute surveys that surface rich and deep insights to allow you to take appropriate action for people working remotely, working mobile, and working in the office? Finally, if you're going to select a tool to address the first step in this, the engagement piece, can you um, adequately reward and recognize your people with the digital gifts and experiences on board from a platform that are appropriate for hybrid working? That's all I really have to say. Is my main message here is today, you can't have employee experience or employee experience as it will be in a hybrid world if you fail to address engagement to nurture that experience from where it is today